If that does not sum it up, my Aries friend, literally fear in real life. No KY. I'm just saying. Hello, Aries. Welcome to your July soul session. I'm Princess India if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and whatnot. Or whatever. If you're not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of offering you clarity, insight, and guidance, and all that good stuff and whatnot or whatever. So like I've told every sign prior to you guys, I'm letting everyone know that now, from my woke bookers out there, now, okay, that's 3 cards, hello. Now is a good time to look back at your woke book for this year, just to get a sense of where you're at, with last month being June and that being the midpoint of the year. So just kind of checking in on the goals that you set for this year, your personal development journey, and just trying to do like a little, what would you call that? Not necessarily like an analysis, but almost like an audit, like a life audit of where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to be headed, or how to best set yourself up for 2022. So anywho, jumping into you guys' cards, the first card that we have out, interesting, is the Judgment in the reverse. That is Piscean energy. Next, we have the Tower in the reverse, and that is Scorpio energy. And then we have the 6 of Wands. This is a very interesting combination, Aries. Okay, so what is it looking like for my wonderful Aries friends leaving out of June and coming into July? With this Judgment in the reverse, this is more or less a resistance to transformation. How this would feel is there's different situations or circumstances that are popping up in you guys' life at present, as well as specifically in June. I'm hoping and praying that you guys do not hear my kid with this loud Terminator movie in the background, but that's neither here nor there. But let 1 second, Aries. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. My kid is also an Aries, and I just told him to turn it down, and I still hear the Terminator, but that's neither here nor there. But anywho, but what this would feel like within yourself is if you were to think about the month of June and think about different things that popped up for you during that month, whether it was, anxiety, whether it was discomfort, if it was you obsessing over a particular thing, or your focus just being heavily on something. But whatever it is, it feels outside of your comfort zone, or it feels uncomfortable. Another way we could look at this is something that you've always done, that there's been a level of comfort with, and suddenly you start feeling my neighbor with the motorcycle. I don't know what is happening right now, Aries. The distractions abound. But anywho, even if it's something that you've always done that you naturally feel comfortable with, and suddenly you started finding yourself feeling uncomfortable with that particular thing. So say, for instance, if there's a job that you have and there's a portion of it that's like outside sales, hypothetically, right? And you're used to going and pitching to all of these different, clients. And that's something that you've done for years. But suddenly you find yourself in the parking lot, overwhelmed with anxiety, prior to you going in to do this pitch that you've done, hundreds of times, right? Those things are little signs and symptoms of there needing to be a change or a shift, or for us to kind of recalibrate or refocus. So what this says to me, Aries, is that coming into the month of July, and there's a huge, heavy spiritual influence with this because we have 2 major arcana starting you guys out. There is a push that's coming from within, and you guys may not be recognizing it as such, that's leading you guys to make a huge transformation, right? This could be in a spiritual sense. This could be in a job sense, not saying like quitting your job and, going to a whole nother line of work, but more or less looking at it like taking on more responsibilities or leveling up. But I feel this sense that that Aries isn't necessarily picking up on that. It's just kind of feeling these things or hitting roadblocks or feeling discontent even with where it is that you are in life and relationships and, you know, your career or just with yourself, and not really knowing what to do about that, but not seeing that the discomfort within itself is a sign of a shift needing to take place. And I say there's a level of resistance to it, and not just that there's like a block, because with the tower being here, that's speaking to something, you know, life altering, right? Or soul shaking, right? Something that can uproot an old foundation happening, but that's being resisted with it being in the reverse. And the why is this judgment in the reverse. But the next card that you guys have is the Six of Wands. So this is more or less your constellation, Aries. It's more or less saying that even those of you who may be aware that there's a transformation that's going on, and it's, whoa, okay, a whole stack fell out, did not fall out face up. But those of you who may even be aware that, that you're in a transition, or that a transformation is being asked of you, and the resistance is coming more from a place of fear, like an apprehension and maybe questioning, can I do it? You know, am I qualified? Am I ready? Am I prepared? Even if it's coming from that place, the Six of Wands is coming in as a consolation to you all, of letting you know that victory is assured. So it's more, okay, it's more or less that if you guys allow this transformation, or you go with the flow of it, it's like where you're ultimately going to end up is far better than where you've been. And I don't want to say it's like overnight success or like a, you know, fast track type of thing. This is more or less you just being in alignment with spirit, and you there, because a telltale sign that something is in alignment with spirit is that there's a lack thereof of resistance. So it's like things just kind of flow and they just naturally unfold, right? So that's more or less what I feel for you guys. It's not that it's like a cheat code or anything like that. It's just you being in alignment with yourself. You are going to gravitate to what is for you. The next card that we have is the Six of Cups in the reverse. So I feel with this, this really could be a fear of change, Aries. And that's where the resistance could be coming from. I feel a vibe almost like, and this is, I'm not going to go on to a whole lecture, but it's like, this is how self-sabotage happens. Not saying that's what you guys are doing, but just using it as an example. We think about past situations where you hypothetically took a chance, stepped outside of your comfort zone, and, you know, it didn't work. You were disappointed in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It's more or less like, I just thought that this was going to be the path or the opportunity or the person that was going to be that booster, that step that I needed to get to where it is that I desire to be, right? And it not working out, and it's kind of holding on to that. So it's like staying in your safe space, like where you're comfortable, staying around what it is that you know, and not really venturing too much outside of your comfort zone, which is interesting for me. An energy to pick up on from an Aries, but I picked up something similar for you guys maybe about a month or two ago, but it was more in the sense of you opening up to other people. It's kind of like having been burned so many times by people in the past that it's like having zero interest and wanting to let people into your space, you know? And my philosophy on things is that whenever that happens in one facet of our life, it starts to bleed into all the other facets of our life. So those of you who remember that reading and you resonated with that, I feel that this is a manifestation in a different area of your life. I don't really so much feel this. I'm gonna clarify it, but I don't so much feel this in reference to other people per se. This feels more of a like a solo dolo kind of process that's going on. But because of things not working out past tense in a very similar situation to this is why I feel you guys are resisting it. The reason why you're resisting it is because it's self-protection, right? That's where self-sabotage happens. It's like, you find yourself in a new situation and you think about in the past how one was hurt, maimed, or wounded. So your next inclination is to take a step back so that you don't rehearse that same, less than stellar feeling that you felt in the past, right? But it's actually an opportunity asking you to step outside of your comfort zone, but not knowing that is why one recoils and kind of stays within. So I feel it's past experiences that are causing you guys to not see this as like an opportunity for growth or expansion. But again, like I was saying with the Six of Wands, this speaks heavily to your success being assured in reference to this. So let's see what else the cards have to say for my Aries friends for the month of July. Let's see, Heather. There's also, if I were to bring this into the realm of a relationship, that I'm looking at these cards as I'm shuffling. And I spoke about this maybe last month or so, where I was referring to like twin flames and stuff like that. And I was using it as an example. I was saying that when people, and even if you don't see it as a twin flame thing, if it's just like someone like the one that got away, if you look at it in that way, of how it is that us holding on to the past can affect us in the present. Because say if there's like, a twin flamey person or a person you see as your twin flame and the two of you are not together, then, this new person comes up, you really dig them and like them, but it's kind of like finding excuses to not move forward. Not because you're consciously thinking, oh, but my twin, but it's because your energy is still focused on that person and there's still a level of hope of, vindicating the situation or the two of you getting back together, that there could be an opportunity in front of you. And it's not really, it's almost like demonizing it and picking it apart and not seeing the benefits in it, because on a deeper level, you really want to be with the other person type of deal. So that's why I say it doesn't necessarily have to be a twin flame situation. But another way that I could see this, where it's holding on to something. Yeah. And then the World in the reverse came out. The card before that came out face down is the Five of Cups. Look at that. The Five of Cups in the reverse. Then we have the World in the reverse, and that is Leo energy, that's Taurus energy, that's Aquarius energy, and that is Scorpio energy again. So it's being stuck in one's ways, right? Like same old, and also speaking to unfinished business here. And then the Five of Cups in the reverse is speaking to being grief-stricken far past its expiration date. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. Going back to what I was saying in the beginning, Aries, with this whole resisting transformation thing, all of this energy in the month of July is suggesting, and I would say that it would behoove you to go in alignment with it, because if you stop resisting this transformation, right? And once again, I don't want to say it like that, because the energy I feel heavily is that a lot of you are not seeing these things that are popping up as signs that are suggesting a change. But a really good example, like I said before, would be if you're in a situation like doing the same job you've always been doing and it never bothered you, and all of a sudden out of the blue, you're starting to feel something that isn't usual to you, right? That discomfort, that's a sign of saying we need to look within, we need to go a little bit deeper. If this is an opportunity that's on offer, or just a situation that you find uncomfortable, it's a charge to dig a little deeper, to see deeper into the situation, to see where modifications and changes could be made. And it would require a level of self-honesty for one to not just identify, but to identify and to accept that one is still very much invested in a past situation, whether it's a past disappointment, right? Or it's someone from the past that you're still pining over, right? Because with this element of unfinished business, it's more or less you can't if I were to put this completely outside of the context of Aries not being aware of how it is they're resisting a transformation, the very simple answer to that would be whatever it is in the past that one is still hurt over, still grief-stricken over, and has had trouble up to this point still moving past. It's like, and that's why I say like the one that got away, it's a vibe like that. It's some type of loss or disappointment that occurred in the past that Aries just has not been able to let go of, you know, whether that was embarrassing yourself, whether that was getting broken up with, whatever the case. It's something that happened in the past that one is not able to move past, and it's kind of keeping you stuck. But the important thing to note is here, this is like your month. I know it's not Aries season, but this is very much your time, Aries. Like this is a very important time for you guys where this is literally your month. It's like, I think something that you guys have been wanting or desiring for a very, very long time. It's right around the corner, but and God, this really does go back to this old reading. It's the thing where, because I think in your reading, I gave this whole analogy about like if what's for you is, you know, searching all over the universe, like, you know, looking for you, you know what I'm saying? And because you're operating in a frequency that's not authentic to yourself, then that vibration that's looking for, you know, like attracts like, it wouldn't recognize you because you're operating in a different frequency. You know what I'm saying? So if, you know, if your call is to be, you know, a healer, you know what I'm saying? And you're operating as like, I don't know, I'm just throwing out random stuff here, y'all, but you're operating as like a cynic, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been hurt so much, then this opportunity, this energetic opportunity is looking for that person vibrating as a healer. But because of one getting their heart broken in the past or getting screwed over by someone you tried to help in the past, you now operate as a cynic. And the opportunity isn't for the cynic, the opportunity is for the healer. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less releasing the ties that are binding you to the past, because with this world card and that's speaking to fixed signs, it's you guys operating in an energy that isn't organic to you. Like, you know, Aries are not fixed signs, you know? So it would be holding you back by operating in a way that isn't natural to you. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. Oh, that's interesting. The wedding card came out clarifying the 6 of Cups in the reverse. So for a lot of you guys, which goes back to that past reading too, for a lot of you guys, this can have a great deal to do with a romantic relationship that did not work out or failed in some way. And I mean, for some of you, it could literally be your parents' marriage where, you know, maybe your parents got divorced and you're an adult now, but you made it up in your mind that I'm never going to get married because I don't want to end up like my parents type of deal. And that would be a pain that one is carrying from the past that's not organic to you, because it's important to understand that, you know, you're not your parents. That was their situation. There's a myriad of different variables that caused that situation to turn out the way that it did. And that doesn't mean that it has to be you. Or even if this is a romantic relationship for you specifically that you guys were in the past that didn't work out, it doesn't mean that all partners are going to be like that. It doesn't mean that all relationships are going to be like that. And it's more or less holding yourself back from this victory that's ordained for you to have because of something that happened past tense. This is all something I've said before, dude, because this brings us into the realm of dark distractions. It's like, if we were to look at this within the context of like, you know, God and a devil, right? And I told this story with someone before about this class that I took at Tulane on Arthurian theory. And they were talking about the Christ archetype and stuff like that. And feeling that the reason why there's so many, you know, stories that sound like Jesus, right? This was what one of the students said, was that it was an attack by the enemy where Satan went back in time and, put all of these Christ-like figures like before Jesus to make Jesus not really seem like Jesus, right? Like to throw the whole world off, because people would go back in history and find like, well, Buddha lived 600 years before Jesus, and, they were both, born of virgins, you know what I'm saying? Type of deal. So that's the same kind of vibe, using that as a hypothetical for what it is that I'm feeling. It's almost like what happened to you in the past was a dark distraction. It was like an attack by the enemy, because it's keeping you from your destiny because of this hiccup or this misstep that happened in the past, right? It caused you to shift, to morph, to change, to become or operate in a way that isn't organic to you, right? And now when it's time for you to receive your blessing, you know what I'm saying? What's blocking it? What's resisting this transformation that's here for you all to get you to a victory is this past situation that has long since happened. So it's like the past is robbing you of your destiny in so many words. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point of this month is you guys recognizing those signs and symptoms that have been occurring since June, right? That unrest, that discomfort that came out of nowhere, right? Taking the time to go within and to recognize within yourself what pain you're still harboring from the past, seeing how it is that that's affecting you, right? With moving forward in your life, or things about yourself that you've modified or changed because of this particular disappointment. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you guys are going to turn the proverbial wheel in order to move forward. So a huge part of the work that's going to be done in the beginning of July, Aries, it's a great deal of self-reflection. And much like what I've been telling everybody, why I mentioned the woke book in the beginning, is looking back at the last 6 months. For some of you, it's literally looking back to 2012, looking back to 2014, looking back to 2019. And those of y'all who have the 2020 woke book, y'all can handle that too, as well as looking at the last 6 months of this year. So I'm going to pull a card from my new deck that I love so much because it lets me cuss. You know what I'm saying? So no offense, Aries, I'm just reading what the cards say in this deck, So let's see what's going on for you guys. Any additional guidance for my Aries homies? Let's see. This is the Rebel deck. I literally love this deck. It is amazing. Oh, here we go. Stop talking. Shut your mouth and listen. Oh, that's nice. That's interesting. Yeah, dude. And I feel what needs to be listened to is spirit. It's more or less not even about just listening to other people. It's needing to listen to yourself, listen to spirit, and listen to like life. And that sounds kind of cray-cray, but listen to your experiences. It's like, what are the patterns telling you? What are the situations telling you? And really listening, like how, a lot of times they got oracle decks for days that tell you like to go out in nature, and to spend time in nature. The reason for that is like a long held, not really intentionally hidden, but secret of the universe of how, if you really want to know the secret code to life, just pay attention to nature, because literally everything in life follows that same pattern, with different seasons of things and, death and rebirth and all of this. You can learn so much from nature. And I feel for you guys, just kind of sitting back and being the ever-present observer of your experience, you could learn so much about your life, but it's not about judging it, like what happens in mindful meditation, why meditation is so important, because mindfulness is a lifestyle. It's not just, 5 minutes a day and I'm sitting and, communing with spirit. That's it. It's just different things are revealed to you in that time. And it's something that you bring outside of meditation to where your entire life becomes a meditative state, because you're present and you're observing everything that's happening without judging it, not saying whether it's good or bad. It's seeing what happens. And when you're able to remove yourself from your experience, That's how you're able to respond to life as opposed to reacting to life, if that makes sense. Whoa, look at that. The next card is fuck fear. And it says, it will lie to your face. Dude, if that does not sum it up, my Aries friend, literally, fuck fear in real life. No KY. I'm just saying, because I really feel that's what's holding you guys back. And you may not consciously be aware of this, but it's legit, dude. It's like, it's all a fear of reliving something that you've lived. And the message in all of this is that this is not the same thing. This is different people. This is a different time. You know more than you knew then, you know? So it's about applying those things and taking a chance on yourself, my friend. But anywho, Aries, that has been your soul session. I'm going over, sounded like an announcement, didn't it? I'm going over to my network to do you guys extended. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there, my friend. If not, I still love your freaking face. And I will see you guys sooner than later.